reason why we're so excited to have all of you here is that, frankly, we don't do enough in feline, enough with cats, as much as we'd like to. So we've got a pretty robust business overall, but we'd like to be a lot stronger in cat in general. We'd like to serve a lot more cats than we do today. But again, first, this is sort of our manifesto up here, and I won't read through all of it, but essentially, our religion is really around natural. That's what we're rooted in, that's what we believe in. We just think that natural food is inherently better for you.
I wanted to start with a little bit of history about the brand. And so when we go back in time, there's a dog named Ivan who's very important to this brand. And back in the late 90s, a couple in Kansas City, Missouri, loved their dog Ivan, but Ivan had the world's worst breath. And Joe Rothelli, who started up the Greenies company, started tinkering around in his house and really started developing the original Greenies formula for dogs. And it's one of those truly quintessential American entrepreneurial success stories. Started out of their house, funded from their credit cards, and started the business. In fact, as they started to ramp up production, they had their 2 teenage sons hand wrapping Greenies bones in their house. Overwhelmingly, people talked about Greenies and said, my pet is obsessed. We hear stories all the time. We hear these crazy stories of, we heard a story about a dog who actually chewed through a pantry door. There's all this human food in there just to get at a box of Greenies.
When you're looking at cat, the food is a moment of truth. You're buying the food, and if your cat not going to like it, you're done there.
They're smart animals, and so that's kind of how we approach this. Is how do we actually create a product that's worthy of these animals, that provides both the palatability and the functionality. There's this need for connection. The cat owns that, so treats can be a great way to actually build that connection, trigger that connection.
I ended up going to work for the original owner of Greenies, and I worked for him for 3 years, and then Mars acquired us in 2006. I've been a part of Mars, and now the Nutro company. Greenies has become a brand of the Nutro company, but Mars and Nutro, they're great companies to work for, and they allow us to do a lot of these types of things, which I think Tim talked a little bit about. Even though we are part of a large organization, we still kind of feel like a small group, and it kind of allows us to do some of these unique things and make kind of more unique products than maybe a lot of larger mainstream companies have the ability to do, which is really good.
This is percent, and this is amount. Okay, the body needs this amount, okay? They're called micronutrients because this amount is very, very narrow, very narrow. And if you get too little, you end up with a deficiency, and if you get too much, you end up with a toxicity.